This is what a good girlfriend does.
Flags. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Faiven.
And welcome to Let's Talk About It.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Also, we want to hear from you, so comment below during the video.
Today we are talking about glow-ups because we love a good transformation story.
I know that's right, and I personally have leveled up in so many ways, including my recent 20-pound fat loss. So let's talk about it. But first, rapid fire.
What motivated your glow-up?
I saw a video of myself, but I did not recognize me. I did not recognize my thighs. At what age do you think you were or are the most physically attractive?
I would say now, just because I feel the best now that I ever have, and I think that kind of comes outward too. Does that make sense?
Yes, you exude it.
Yes. What are you most physically attracted to in a partner?
Ooh, like a good smile.
You love teeth.
I had braces twice. My mental health improved the most after I started blank.
My mental health improved the most when I stopped drinking. One thing you are most proud of?
Sticking to my boundaries when it came to alcohol. What mindset shift was most apparent to you after marriage and having multiple kids?
You know the phrase, quit crying over spilled milk? Like, I used to get so mad when my kids would spill or drop something because I just mopped the floors, and it's like, kids have a way of forcing you to let things go. The biggest challenge you've overcome so far this year?
Running a 5K because I'm not a runner. What is your simplest go-to form of self-care?
Any step of a skincare routine, I'm very proud of myself. If I can take a bath by myself these days without the toddler, also a win. So I think we have definitely undergone glow-ups of sorts in our own respective ways. For starters, for every pound that you have lost, I have gained.
Because she's pregnant.
Yes. You are a whole new jean size now. I am in the final stretches of my third and last pregnancy. So yeah, a lot going on here.
I know. I didn't even think that a fat loss journey was going to happen for me this year. It was never pre-planned or anything, but the catalyst was running the 5K and training with my friend, running every other day, getting up to that mileage, and then looking at that video and still seeing a body that's larger than I thought it was. Because I had a weird body dysmorphia where I was always a slender African girl. And then, you know, COVID happened and a bad relationship and a bad boss. And like, so the last couple of years I was putting on weight and I cook a lot at home. So I would just keep eating the leftovers because there was always leftovers. And so I just didn't realize the pounds being added until I saw a video from random angles that I've never seen before.
But I hope that your feelings didn't overshadow the good thing that you accomplished in that moment still. Like, you still should be very much proud of yourself for running the 5K. I hope you didn't just like pick yourself apart.
No, I'm so proud of myself. I invited my parents. We went to brunch after. I got flowers from the person I was dating at the time. Yes, I felt so accomplished and amazing. Even so much so that I was excited to set the next physical goal, whether it's let me do a Tough Mudder or, you know, one of those like challenges where you climb through things. And I wanted to do something else that was physical and cool. But because I saw that video, I was like, why don't I actually try to get to the bottom of the fat loss thing? Because I was always cooking at home and I was always lifting. And so I just didn't understand how you actually lose weight because I was like, I'm healthy. So I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube and with podcasts, and I finally discovered calories, calorie deficits. I was never taught this in school. Were you? Did you have nutrition class?
Yes, but I mean, who's really paying attention? I think we were taught about the food pyramid, which has also been debunked now because they're like, this is not accurate.
Yeah, they were trying to sell us a lot of bread or something.
Something like that. So did you have a goal number in place for this new journey that you were on? Like, when you got to this number, you were going to be happy? Or what was your indicator that you've done enough?
Right. So I thought, oh, I need to lose 5 to 10 pounds, just like lean out a little bit. and I lost 20 and I still don't have visible abs. So whatever you think you need to lose, it's probably skewed because we don't really know how that weight sits on our body. So it's not even about the number, it's about health and how I feel and how I'm sleeping and how I look aesthetically in the mirror. So I don't really need to step on the scale anymore because I understand food and nutrition and protein. So this was all free, by the way. No trainers, no supplements, no fake food or additives, just literally real food. You don't have to cut anything out, but I reduced alcohol because drinking 300 calories for no reason when I could eat a brownie instead, I'd rather have the brownie.
So let me ask you, do you still struggle with body dysmorphia?
No. I look the way I thought I looked the whole time now that I've done this journey. And the thing is, this is just my old body anyway. This was me in my 20s. Just something happened right there in the...
I remember the headshots, early New York, the model and Faiven, I remember.
Exactly. So I got back to that size in a healthy way because we grew up in an era where we all changed our body in a non-healthy way, let's just put it that way. So I learned that if you reduce your calories by 250 to 500 a day, then you'll have a deficit where you can lose like a pound a week or so, and that's exactly what happened. It's been about 20-ish weeks and I lost about 20-ish pounds. Very sustainable, really easy on my metabolism, and much more sustainable when you lose it at that steady rate.
Yeah, speaking to the era that we grew up in our early 20s, it was very much the America's Next Top Model, and then when you factor in the industry that we work in, it can be very toxic, and the changes that have happened I'm grateful for, but they are very slow going kind of changes. And people always love to ask or say, well, if you hate working in that industry so much, or if it's so bad, why don't you just get out? And it's like everybody has aspects of their job maybe that they don't like, but like I love and maybe you feel the same way, like I love the creativity and the art behind our industry. Like I love the way that it allows us to emote or maybe transform into like this different character, but as a business, as an industry that a lot of young girls aspire to step into, I don't like it. I look back at younger me, early 20s, trying to get signed, and I was rail thin, believing that I had to lose even more weight because an agency that I was trying to get signed to put the measuring tape around my thigh. And as I'm sure like when you lost this weight, did you have any say of where it came off, or you just lost 20 and it went where it went?
All I really cared about was my stomach area and then my thigh area. But it came off my face first, it came off my back. I can't even see my back. I just caught myself in the gym in the mirrors, and at one point I looked and I was like, wait a minute, they were literally like, you could see muscle definition on my back. I was like, that's where the fat has been coming off? Like, and then here I am still looking down, like pinching my stomach. So yeah, you can't choose where your fat comes off, you just have to stick to your routine. And then one day you will see that your body is different. I do have before and afters. I'll pop it onto the screen if I can find them. You'll see it's a drastic difference. Because what's funny is, yes, because of body positivity and self-esteem and all that stuff, I was still working. So at my heaviest, I still booked Maybelline, a close-up me doing my brows with my fuller face, because face card never declines.
Period.
It's just a little bit more chiseled now, and I'm still booking now. Just shot a commercial last week. So it wasn't about, oh, I'll book more work if I'm in a smaller body, blah, blah, blah. I genuinely feel more myself now, and it's a holistic thing. So when we talk about glow-ups, most people go straight to bodies, or post-breakup glow-ups where it's like the revenge body and stuff like that. But I have such a better routine overall, just in life. Like I'm sleeping better because I'm eating healthier and I'm drinking water, and my energy is super high. So I just feel like there's a holistic glow up, and I just so happen to be more toned as well.
Yeah, I feel like you can't hate your way into a body you love, Like, you were really focused on lifestyle changes as opposed to somebody that's maybe like, oh, I hate this about myself, I hate this about myself. If you're only worried about the end goal, then when you get there now, what motivating factors do you have to maintain that lifestyle, as opposed to somebody like you that genuinely pursued those lifestyle changes for positive reasons, for better sleep, for better energy, just to feel good about the inside. Like, you weren't motivated through like hate and loathing. You were just like, hey, these are the things I want to change about myself, and I'm going to rise to the occasion. And I love that. When I was trying to lose weight, mind you, I had no business trying to lose weight, so I'm glad that it didn't work. And probably because my body was like, where are you trying to lose this weight, hon? You have no butt, you have no boobs, where is this going to come off? But I wasn't doing it for positive reasons. I was essentially starving myself. I was doing these extreme restrictive diets. I can't remember the name of it. It was the one with like the cayenne pepper and like the lemon.
Master Cleanse.
Yes. And like, it got to the point where I just was sneaking chocolate like on the side of my bed, like ducking if somebody came in the room because I didn't want them to. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is madness. I should be able to eat this candy bar and not feel ashamed of it. Another time in my life, I told myself, you have to earn your food. And I'm like, I just want to hug younger me. I want to tell her, shh, be quiet, you sound silly. But I also want to hug her. Like, no, you don't have to earn your food. I am a living, breathing person. I need to eat to survive. But because of that mantra, I was like, oh, if I didn't run 3 miles today, if I didn't do 20 push-ups, then who am I to eat this breakfast? And it's just like,
I remember that too in high school. I got my first gym membership at 15 because I remember I was a nerd. So I was on yearbook staff, theater, Spanish Honor Society, but my siblings were track stars. Mm-hmm. So to compensate for physical activity, I was the third child. So they're like, oh, you can just go to the gym after school with your friends since your brother and sister will be at practice and you can get some physical activity in as well. So I remember around time of school dances, I would wake up super early, like 5 a.m. and I'd be like, okay, not eat breakfast, go to the gym before school, and then not really eat during school, and so I can look good in the dress.
Yeah.
And the fact that no one in my family was like, why are you going to the gym so early? Or, I don't know, no one was really educated on how to be slender in a healthy way. Yeah. We all did it in the horrible ways, and some people are still recovering from that. So I was so proud of myself that I learned. It's so sad that I had to be in my 30s to learn this. Mm-hmm. Just the healthy, sustainable way to gradually lose fat and maintain muscle. I'm actually eating more than I ever did in the past because I used to not eat breakfast. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, I need at least 30 grams of breakfast in the morning so I can get over 100 grams of protein throughout the entire day. Mm-hmm. So if you spread it out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 30-ish grams of protein, there's 90 right there, and then throw in a snack like a protein bar is another 20. And you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like it ends up being like 100 grams or more, so that when the fat is coming off, what is revealed are the sculpted toned muscles. Mm-hmm. And there's so much misinformation out there, kind of like the Master Cleanse, and then people are like, I'm gonna be vegan to lose weight, I'm gonna be keto, I'm gonna do the Atkins diet, I'm gonna do Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers points are just calorie math. It's the same thing, rebranded. So you don't have to do elimination diets to get what you want done. It's literally a numbers thing. If you type in for free online, the tdee.net, like your height, your weight, your gender, your activity level, it'll say, these are your maintenance calories. And then if you want to lose weight, they say, okay, just reduce these calories by X amount. Or if you want to gain weight, increase these calories daily by X amount. And then I used my MyFitnessPal, which is free. I did not pay for the premium. This entire journey has been for free, because if it's for free, it's for me. So I would just type in my meals and track, and I'm like, oh snap, I have like 400 calories left for the day. Let's go get some ice cream.
Yeah.
And it became fun, and I gamified it, and here we are months later, and it became very effortless.
Yeah.
So I was so proud of that part of my glow up.
And you should be. And glow ups truly are more than just physical, but I think we focus on that physical aspect so much just because naturally this outer shell is what you see first. But, you know, I think my sobriety is part of my glow up. I think the turn of events when it comes to my mental health is part of my glow up, because like I'm happier now, and I feel like that translates in how I carry myself, the energy that I exude with the people that I'm around, or even just like the energy in the house. Like when you're depressed or when you're angry and you're not feeling good, like the people closest to you pick up on that, you know. But we don't always give as much credit to those kind of glow ups because those changes aren't necessarily seen right away.
Yeah, so the same way that I had my catalyst seeing that video to change my body, what was the catalyst for you to stop drinking? Like, what made you be like, you know what, I'm good?
I am, like, one of my biggest fears is like losing my mind, like, and not even to be dramatic, like I'm talking about like Alzheimer's, dementia, like not recognizing family members, not knowing just who I am or in my body. And when you read about like all the damage that like alcohol does to your brain, or how by the time you're seeing noticeable signs of like Alzheimer's, it's too late because the damage has started like in your 30s, it absolutely terrifies me. And I grew up in Germany. Like at the time, the drinking age was 16, and I think now it's 18. Just a 20-something-year-old in New York, you know, being a woman, being a model, you know, ladies free before this hour, open bars. It was just so much alcohol. And, you know, my family history is also loaded with heavy drinkers. And so I really just had to think about what I was modeling for my children. Kids do what you do, not what you say, you know. I was thinking about the quality of life that I was risking. Like, why do I want to live to be 100 if I'm having to be taken care of by somebody else, if I can't enjoy and chase after my grandkids? So really just trying to preserve my mind and keep it sharp and clear for as long as I possibly can. It has been my biggest motivator.
That's beautiful. For me, I already told you, like, I'd rather eat good food than drink my calories. Mm-hmm. That includes smoothies too. Mm-hmm. I can have a morning smoothie. Even you make me smoothies.
Oh, I love a smoothie.
But I'm still hungry after. So I'll drink the smoothie as if it's a glass of water and then still eat another breakfast. And so I'm like, okay, that is a waste of several hundred calories. Let me just eat the proper breakfast. And
even when you're adding protein powder?
Yeah. I think it's also a mental thing, like there's no bite involved. Because
you're consuming it so fast.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, okay, I don't want to drink that much alcohol. But also, I did an audit and I'm like, how does alcohol benefit me at all? I'm an extrovert, so I do not need a drink in my hand to meet new people or go to an event. It adds unnecessary calories. I'm hungover the next day. The bill when you go out is...
Oh, it triples.
Tripled. I was thinking about all these things and I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
It's so ingrained into our society that's let's grab a drink, and no one questions it anymore. Mm-hmm. And so now that I've cut back significantly, I have some friends that are literally drinking friends. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at every single one of their Insta stories, they're just holding up a martini or a beer, and I'm like, wow, that's just a lot of drinking. Like once you stop, you just see it in such a different way. And to me, that's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like,
and it hits different. Like I don't know about you, but like for me, mid-30s, the recovery period was taking so much longer. Like I can't just get up and do it again the next day. I also have kids that are early risers and they don't care what you did the night before. So I don't miss it. Like I really do love being clear-headed when I wake up. I think the biggest challenge for me was, you know, at the end of the day, you want to wind down or you want something to take the edge off. And I mean, to this day, just being honest, like a hot cup of herbal tea does not hit the same, you know? And if you're so used to smoking or having a glass of wine before you can fall asleep, like I really had to essentially sleep train myself. Like I probably went months like staring at the ceiling, trying to count sheep, trying to read a book just to recalibrate myself. But it was worth it for me. And please drink around me, do you. I'm not going to be triggered. I don't want you to stop having fun, nor am I judging you for how you have fun. But I just feel better now without it.
That's awesome. Yeah, even like, at your house, like your husband was like, oh, would you like some wine? As he was pouring himself some wine. Obviously, you're pregnant and you don't drink anymore anyway, so you said no. And then I just said no because we had pizza, and I'm like, I'd rather eat another slice of pizza.
Mm-hmm. And I bought you dessert that was in your Fitness Pal quality range because I'm supportive.
I discovered some Greek yogurt ice cream bars that are a good swap for Ben & Jerry's because I would eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's like in one sitting.
Understandable, so good.
So swaps are really helpful too, but you don't need to cut out entire groups of things. But there's just, what's a funny part of my glow up? Like style. Do you remember back in the day where we dressed crazy? Or even the celebrities, like the Hillary Duffs and stuff, how we had like the low-rise jeans and the sparkles and red carpets.
2000s is back.
Yeah.
The pencil-thin eyebrows, the Snooki bump. Did you ever do the Snooki bump?
No.
Okay. Maybe that was my white side.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the skirts over the pants?
I don't think I've ever done that.
Okay. Those are back. Ballet flats. They're back, but also like they make your feet smell so bad.
They do.
Let's just be honest for a second. Like they make your feet smell so bad.
There's no arch support and your feet stink. Like no. Do like a samba or like just do a different type of slide. I don't know. Do not do ballet flats. But to each their own. The good news is, like, back in the day, even though we made questionable decisions, it was normal back then. And what I really liked was the price point was reasonable because we were at the mall. We were at, like, Weathervane and Aeropostale. But nowadays, because of social media, I feel like kids, like, want name brand, high-end things all the time.
Oh, literally. My daughter is putting together a PowerPoint as we speak, linked to the different items that she wants. She's done the reviews and everything for her birthday list. I was like, how times have changed. She wants some sambas as well. I reminded her that I have some, and she's like, no, not like yours, because nothing that I do or have is ever going to be cool, and I have to accept that. She wants to add the charms, and she wants to add the laces. I don't get any extra points for saying, oh, well, we wore that back in my day, too. Instead, she just responds with, hey, Mom, anybody that says back in my day is probably old. And I'm like,
I do remember you got points the one time that one of your beautiful images ended up on Vogue Online.
Oh.
And then
that was probably the only time.
She was like, Mom, why did you tell me it was Vogue? And you're like, well, you think I'm a loser for everything else. So.
I'm literally always chopped liver.
But it's Vogue, Mom. Okay.
I'm glad you remembered because I'm going to have to keep that memory with me because I don't know that it will ever happen again. So when you look back at these throwback pictures of yourself when you were in high school or even just early teen years, how do you feel looking back at them? The same way you said you want to give younger you a hug, I can't believe I was so insecure because I looked cute half the time. And I'm like, you did that, sis. But it's all mental. Like, depending on your mental state, you look in the mirror and you don't see what's actually there because of dysmorphia or low self-esteem. And me, I grew up in Connecticut in a very white town, and so I was a token black girl, and no one looked like me. So I'm like, oh man, I wish my hair was straight. I wish I wasn't so tall. I wish, like, just everything. Luckily, I had no issues with my skin because everyone would go tanning all the time and be jealous of my skin. And I'm like, that's right. But other than that, yeah, I was different. So it's hard for you as a kid to be very confident when no one looks like you and you're not getting reinforcements around you. No teachers were black, like no one. So it was just me and the TV. Like I'd be watching Moesha, but Moesha and Family Matters and all that, everyone around them was black too. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't live in that world. So how do I feel what they feel? So it was sad, but I was like, dang, you a baddie, girl, you a baddie. Now that I look at it. How about you? Like, I remember growing up, my mom used to always say, like, oh, my girls are so beautiful, you know, I'm glad my girls are so gorgeous, you know, not like me, though. And I used to hate when she said that because even though she was trying to boost our confidence and self-esteem, what spoke even louder to me was that she didn't feel that way about herself. So no matter how many times she complimented me, when I looked in the mirror and realized, okay, well, I look most like my mom out of all my sisters, and if my mom doesn't like these things about herself, is there something wrong with those features that we share? And so now I'm becoming just as critical as myself as she was of herself. And, you know, parents aren't perfect, and she did her best. And, you know, your insecurities don't go anywhere just because you become a parent. I saw a quote, and I keep it in my back pocket, and it just says, remember that this is your parents' or your grandparents' first time at this stage of their life too. Like, they've never done this before. And so it just reminds me to extend grace. But at my lowest points, I was so mad because I felt like if she could have modeled the self-confidence that I wanted, then that would have been my shortcut. It's like, oh man, if mom would have just had it, then I wouldn't have had to work so hard for it now. Which also isn't necessarily true. There's a lot of confident parents out there that love themselves, and they maybe still have kids that are struggling with insecurity. So now fast forward, I have a teenage daughter, and I'm so hyper aware that it's not about what I say, it's about what I do. If I'm in the mirror and I'm like picking at my skin, she sees that. If I step on a scale and I'm like, you know, because I don't like the number, she sees that. She sees how I respond. You know, she sees what I deem beautiful, or what I'm giving my approval or casting judgment on. And that's the behaviors that she's going to model. So I try to, number one, not even comment on her body, because I want how she looks to be the least interesting thing about her. Now, I'm not going to pretend that she's not beautiful. She is. Gas yourself up. Don't play it small for anybody. If you the brightest in the room, then shine bright, baby. But you're going to bring the brains to the table, you're going to bring the athleticism to the table, and your looks will be the least interesting thing about you.
Yeah, that's fair. Even me, as like the auntie who pops in every once in a while, I did say I liked her hair because she wore it half up, half down, and she put a bow, and I had never seen her wear it like that. But then I didn't say anything else. Not about her height, her body, her skin, nothing. I'm not going to say anything, because kids remember. Oh yeah. They remember everything. So,
but even a compliment like that is different from just commenting on how she looks, because she is putting a lot more attention into her image right now, which I think is just like a natural phase of teen girlhood. So learning how to care properly for her hair, which is something that anybody with textured hair knows is a journey. Learning how to braid her own hair. You are essentially complimenting a skill that she has had to cultivate instead of just something that she was born with. So I think that's a good compliment, girl.
Nailed it. So outside of style evolution and just the majority of mental health stuff, like, never ends. Like, you glow up through life, right? But what do you think at this point in life are you most proud of, that you're like, I did that?
I think just the acceptance that I have now, the comfort that I have in my skin. I think some people go through a majority of their lives hating themselves. You know, before I ever became pregnant with any of my babies, you know, I would nitpick at my body. And then when I got pregnant, you know, I would have moments where I would nitpick at, you know, if I gained too fast, or, you know, how I would lose the weight, or what the plan was, or, oh, now I see a little more cellulite on my thighs, and okay, well, now I'm gonna wait until I have the baby to love my body. And then I have the baby, and it's like, okay, so at some point we just have to jump into these crazy thoughts and just stop them, because if you're not satisfied before the baby, if you're not satisfied during the pregnancy, and if you're still nitpicking afterwards, then, like, God, that has to be exhausting, you know? So just being able to accept my body, reframe my thoughts, remind myself that, like, girl, nobody ever promised you a body that was going to stay in its 20s, like, from here till now, and that actually looks unnatural. Anybody that we know that has overdone the plastic surgery, the fillers, the Botox, it doesn't age well. I've seen a BBL on a 70-year-old, and when that thing is sitting and everything else is not, like, it's just like,
you're right.
Something ain't, you know. So yes, my short answer is the body acceptance that I have now. Even if I can't always say, oh my God, I love it so much, I accept it. And my husband accepts it, so we're good, you know?
Yeah, that's a good test. If your man's still trying to get it in, that means he's good with your body. Like, it is what it is. I feel like men are pretty simple when it comes to that.
And he loves my pregnant body. I've heard stories about men that are like, when my wife is pregnant. But, like, my husband loves my pregnant body. So I'm like, all right,
Yay. I heard a good trick when you're being self-critical is pretend you're your own friend. Like, would you say this to your friend? Whatever comment you made, like, oh, you're so ugly or you're so fat, da-da-da. Would you look someone else dead in the eye and say that to them? If the answer is no, then why are you saying it to yourself? Because you're somebody's friend.
Absolutely.
You're somebody's sister. Would you say that to someone that you love? No. Shouldn't you love yourself? So that can stop it in its tracks too.
That's a good one. What about you though? What are you, because you asked me what I was most proud of, right? So what are you most proud of?
Definitely figuring out the fat loss, because I never knew the answer. So learning the science behind it. At this point, I'm a nutritionist who's just not certified. I'm such a nerd when I go down rabbit holes. That's one. But that's also, I think, on par with being proud of actually applying the lessons I learned in my whole dating journey to new dating situations. So it's one thing if you go on date after date and it doesn't work out for this reason or the other, but you learn from mistakes and you learn from different situations. So the fact that I know what to look out for, I know what a guy means when he says X, Y, or Z, and to go to a brand new situation and not be delulu because I have all this knowledge now and I'm able to apply it. So I'm really proud of myself for not doing the most. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I cooked a full spread for somebody on like the second date, which I've done before.
Yes, I'm not going to put your business out there, but the way you used to go all out for somebody that we didn't even know if they would make it to the final round of the draft picks was a bit much.
Didn't know what their intentions were, didn't know if they even wanted a wife, and here I am making like 3 courses because I'm thinking I'm auditioning for the role of wife or
honey,
girlfriend.
They are auditioning for you.
Right. So we have to assess each other, but I just feel like I was ignoring them and what they were actually showing me.
The signs that they were showing.
Yeah, and I was like, this is what a good girlfriend does.
Ducking flags.
Yeah, and so I'm not Delulu anymore, and it's just very clear, and I've applied all the lessons, so I'm very proud about that because I'm at peace. So even if something doesn't work out, like I'm seeing someone right now, we're asking each other direct questions about how you want to raise your family, where you want to live, do you want to stay in the city, what's your weekend routine. Like, we're just trying to see if there's compatibility, and we're not overly romanticizing it. We're literally saying like, hey, you grown, I'm grown, we're looking for marriage and partnership. Would we fit each other's lives? Just, it's a very sober, intentional look at things without rose-colored glasses like I used to do in the past, and I feel so much more confidence. I'm so proud of that.
That's awesome. You know what else I think is worth mentioning, especially for anybody that has textured, curly, or natural hair? I can't tell you how much I hated my curls. I hated everything about them. The curl was either too tight or it was too loose, or this half was a different texture and this half something else was going on. The way that I have fried and dyed, and I mean, I'm still dyeing, but abused my hair over the years is just, it's a miracle that it still grows out of my head. Like, I would do relaxers and I did so much, and one day I just realized that that's not how your hair grows out of your head. And you can't be blonde and have straight hair. Like, something has to give. So I chose to be blonde, but like, I love how I've been able to embrace my curls now. If I do have my hair kind of like slicked or straighter, it's not because I hate my curls. It's just because I want to diversify things or change. But did you feel a pressure like back then to have your hair like sleek and straight and tame to fit in ever?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I was
in Connecticut, I imagine. Yeah.
I begged my mom for a relaxer, and she said no because she knew about the chemicals and how bad they were for you. So my sister and I both waited till we were old enough and had some money from our cashier jobs, and we went to the salon and did it ourselves. And then my hair never went past this length because it would break off at a faster rate than it would grow. So then once I finally let all that go, I think it was in my 20s even, when I was like, why am I putting this on my scalp? Then my fro flourished, and now it's like beyond my shoulders when it's stretched, and yeah, it's just part of the journey. So it's been a glow up overall, holistically. So physically, mentally, style, point of view, and it feels amazing.
Yeah, I agree. So we want to hear from you. Share your glow up story with us. What are you most proud of?
Yes, let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. And be sure to stay tuned to next week's episode. Let's talk about it. Equally yoked.